A scary time. Understanding Bersiap. Between 1945 and 1950, Indonesia was a dangerous and violent place. This time, known as Bersiap, is a very sad part of Indonesia's history. Bersiap means get ready in Indonesian, and it describes how tense things were. But many people disagree about what the word really means. Some say it makes a complicated time seem too simple, like it was just Indonesians hurting Dutch people. Others use it to talk about all the bad things that happened. The arguments about Bersiap show how sensitive this time is. It's important to remember everyone who suffered and not make unfair judgments. After World War II, Indonesia went through huge changes. When Japan lost control, nobody was in charge, and the fight for freedom caused lots of anger and violence. The violence during Bersiap was everywhere and had many causes. Different groups were fighting for different reasons. Some wanted to hurt the Dutch, but others were hurt just because of who they were, or because of old disagreements. To understand Indonesia's history, we need to understand this complicated time. A new nation, a time of trouble. The problems of Bersiap started near the end of World War II. As Japan became weaker, Indonesians saw a chance to be free. On August 15, 1945, just after Japan surrendered, Indonesia declared its independence. But after this big event, things became very messy. The Dutch wanted their colony back, and Indonesian fighters didn't want them there. Groups formed during the Japanese occupation fought to protect the new country. This fighting created a lot of danger and violence. October 1945 was when the worst violence started, especially on the island of Java. Cities like Surabaya, Depok, and Malang became like war zones. During the fighting, attacks against Dutch people of mixed Dutch and Indonesian background called Eurasians, and people thought to be helping the Dutch became much worse. A reign of terror, danger, and escape after the war. The violence during Bersiap was terrible. Stealing, burning buildings, and murder happened all the time. Eurasians, also called Indos, were in great danger. Because they looked a bit Dutch, people attacked them. Tens of thousands of Indos were killed or forced to leave their homes. Many went to refugee camps hoping to find safety and leave the country. Bersiap was a terrible experience for the Indo community, both in Indonesia and in the Netherlands, where many escaped to. The violence of Bersiap wasn't just physical. Many women were hurt in terrible ways, making things even worse. The emotional pain of this time still affects people today. Seeking recognition and justice, remembering Bersiap. The memory of Bersiap is still a problem for Indonesia. This time has hurt Indonesian society deeply, especially the Indo community. Many Indos don't know where they belong. They are Indonesian, but some people see them as Dutch because of their family history. The Indonesian government hasn't fully admitted how bad the violence during Bersiap was. This is because it's a complicated part of their fight for freedom. But recently, some good things have happened. In 2022, the Dutch Prime Minister said sorry for the violence during Indonesia's fight for freedom. This was a big step towards admitting the bad things that happened. Also, Indonesia's president created a group to investigate past human rights abuses, including those during Bersiap. These are good steps, but there is still a long way to go. To understand Bersiap, we must remember everyone who was hurt, no matter who they were or what they believed. Indonesia can only heal from this sad time by talking openly and facing the past.